So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much everyone, and I think it's the right time to have a look at Group B. Mexico and Portugal 0-0. Argentina, Spain 0-0. Mexico 0, Argentina 6. Portugal 0, Spain 2. And let's have a look how this group stands.
Argentina and Spain are on 4 points, but Argentina is leading the group because of the goal difference. After, we have Portugal and Mexico with 1 point each.
Tarik, we cannot wait to hear your expert opinion about the Group B.
Group B looks a lot tighter to me than Group A. There's certainly not as many goals. I mean, the first round of games was a complete stalemate. No scores for any of the 4 teams. And then it seems to me the wheels have come off a little bit, especially for Mexico when they played Argentina. Shifting 6 goals in a game it's not very good. It's very good for Argentina, who now lead the group because of that goal difference. Spain are looking good. What you normally would expect from Spain: a lot of possession of the ball, the tiki-taka. But you know, their scores suggest perhaps struggling slightly in front of goal, so maybe they don't have that lethal finishing touch that Argentina are finding at the moment.
Do you think because they had 2 draws, Mexico and Portugal, Argentina and Spain, they're fairly equal, or?
Well, I mean, the game between Argentina and Spain was a very tight game, also a very hostile game. There seems to have been some meaty challenges and a little bit of no love lost between any of the players from either side. So both teams really occupy the place they deserve. Ultimately, the 3rd game now in the group is going to be a straight race between Argentina and Spain in terms of who finishes top of the group and gets to meet either Romania or Brazil. But with Argentina scoring those 6 goals, it seems now Spain will have to outdo that. And if they score more than 6 goals against Mexico, in the next game, then they'll top the group.
Okay, so now we are talking about Spain. We are introducing our last guest, Jesus.
Hi Jesus, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to join CentralPitch TV.
Thank you. I think it's best if we all together have a look at the highlights of the Group B.
No me vengas a empujar, Vengo a separar. Vengo a separar. No, vení a empujar. Vamos, estás afuera. No, vos estás afuera. Vos estás afuera. No, vos estás afuera, callate. Si no querés caer, vos estás afuera. No se haga eso.
Sigue, agarra, bien. Fuera.
Jesus Spain is doing great, but Argentina is leading the group. What do you think?
So in my opinion, we both teams are very even, and we play the first game and we draw. The difference is in the goals, of course, and we have to wait and see the next games, and we will play Mexico and they will play Portugal. So we will see after those games how the table is gonna look like. They are playing a little bit with advantage because they are playing after us, so they could see what the scores look like for us and then play thinking about that. But I think that they won't do that because they are very professional and they are gonna play for winning, and I'm sure they are looking forward to meet in Brazil in the semi-finals. And I say that because it looks like Brazil will end up being second in the group A.
I mean, it's a straight. I mean, you guys have just got to really win the game in front of you, isn't it? Your next game against Mexico.
Well,
You've just got to win that really, and I think you're pretty much there. And I think Spain could be in a false position at the moment because maybe in round 2, Argentina had the easier of the games, without disrespect to Mexico, of course. But maybe Portugal is a tougher test than Mexico, and maybe Argentina won't score as many goals that they have against Mexico against Portugal, and you have the opportunity to score against Mexico. So get your shooting boots on. You should be able to shift a few past Mexico, I say.
well, if you ask me, I think both Mexico and Portugal are quite even. You may think that Argentina and Spain are a step up compared to them, and we will have to wait until the end of the group to see who is going to step up. I don't think.
Very humble.
I don't think that Mexico is gonna be less of a difficult game as Portugal, but I'm hoping that we can improve in our game and do it much better than against Portugal, because against Portugal we find difficulties trying to get the goal, and although we had many chances, we had to wait until the end of the second half to get the result we were looking for.
And of course you play with one striker up front, don't you, and 3 at the back, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, our coach is playing with 3 at the back, 2 in the middle and 1 up front. I don't think that is a bad strategy. Well, I'm not going to criticize our coach. We all are with him, and I think that that is not the problem for us to get the goals. I think we have had some guys that were injured, and we hope that they are coming back to the squad and they can contribute and make us play more fluently.
Yes, I mean, looking at the 2 games, I mean, especially if I say Argentina, perhaps the other quality side in your group, with your 2 guys in midfield against theirs, they seem to have maybe controlled the midfield a little bit more, made it maybe difficult for you to operate in midfield. I mean, you've kept it together at the back. I mean, there were no goals scored either side, and Argentina do have some very good strikers. But you failed to score on their side as well. Perhaps against Portugal, it was highlighted also slightly the slight lack of midfield control. Maybe pushing someone from the back into midfield in the game against Mexico to try and score more goals.
Well, I'm afraid you will have to talk to my coach in order to get that happening.
Sure.
In my opinion, we did a good effort in the midfield, and the problem was that we lacked very much of space. The Portuguese were trying to play counter-attack, and they played really well in defense. They were clever, and they didn't let us much space to play. Hopefully the next game is going to be more open, and we can do our game, the game we like, with spaces and playing the ball on the ground and looking for play up front and get more goals, which is what we all want, because it looks like defensively we are playing pretty well.
Wow.
Jesus, I'm guessing you see Spain in the final. Who do you think will play against?
Well, to be honest, I prefer to think on the next game. So I'm very much concentrated on Mexico, and we all, my teammates and me and the coach, we all are looking forward to playing that game. And we have been watching some videos from Mexico, and we know now that we know how is the best way to play them, and I think they have a very good goalkeeper, and they have a good playmaker. Bartasar is a really good player, and we'll see how he's sleeping before the game, and we hope that he's having a rough night and he's not gonna play as he knows. Either way, I think that we should have very good chances to win that game, and we are all looking to the semi-finals and looking forward to playing the semi-finals.
And what about your team? Who are the stars in your team?
Well, I think we all try to play as a team. We have very good technical players. I think Jaime is doing a great tournament. I'm very impressed. And of course, I mean, the old players, Levka, myself, we have a lot of experience.
Yes, well, I'm sorry to interrupt on that moment, but I think I've got my personal question to you again, Jesus. You know, because Leska who is the organizer of the Central Pitch, was playing for Spain. Do you think this, in a way, affects the attitude of other players?
In my opinion, I think that all the players, we are all professionals, and I really trust that the rest of the players are gonna play Leska or Spain as if he wasn't organizing. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm sure that they all are really appreciate the effort that Leska is putting in organizing this tournament. I'm sure they are gonna be very happy and play. This is not gonna affect.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just no pressure on referees. I mean, you know, I know the Spanish players generally tend to have this thing where they're moaning a lot for the referees, diving for penalties, things like that. Is that kind of thing happening in this tournament?
Well, after the first game against Argentina, it was really tough, and I think the referee held together very nicely. And
well, a fight broke out on the pitch at some point. Of course, you got involved from the bench as well, which is very interesting. Why you came from the bench to get involved? But
I actually that was very interesting. Well, as we all have seen in the highlights, the game was off and the Argentinian guy kept playing. I think he didn't hear the whistle, and that was the reason. And this just fired up all the fight and stuff. But at the end of the game, we all talk, and this is staying in the pitch, as you know. I mean, we've been playing together many years, and a lot of things happen on the pitch, and that stay on the pitch, as you know. And I think that those are things that happens in these kind of games. The game was really tense.
I'm very sorry to cut you off, guys. Thank you so much. We're really tight with time, but thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Next match will be on Thursday, Team GB versus Brazil and France versus Romania. And on Friday we'll have Spain against Mexico and Portugal versus Argentina.
Thank you again for watching the CentralPitch TV special program. And don't forget to watch us next week. Good luck for everyone who's playing, and come to support your team.